What's going on, guys? Alex here, just sitting by the river in one of my favorite spots. You've probably seen me here before if you've been following my videos. You probably haven't seen me with a hat on, and that's because it's colder here in where am I? Krakow, southern Poland. There's a bridge there, just a little bit outside the city centre. Nice place that I walk along pretty much every day to stay lean as I can be. I'm trying to lose a bit of weight at the moment. In any case, I wanted to jump straight into the topic because I don't want to leave you hanging, guys. If you're here to hear me talk about anxiety, well, this is it. So for most of my life, I used to get anxious whenever I felt anxiety. And you probably have experienced the same kind of thing. You probably have found yourself in certain situations. In my case, it was certainly around social events and interviews and anything that sort of demanded of me the need to speak publicly and to express myself in front of other people. That always brought me a lot of nervousness and anxiety, and I always found myself going down a rabbit hole of increasing anxiety in those moments. So when anxiety would arise, and the reason that would happen is because I would have an anxious thought. This is something that I've since learned, is that anxiety tends to come out of anxious thinking initially, and obviously in collaboration with the state of your body. If you're in a sort of poor, unhealthy physical state, then that's going to emphasize and deepen the sense of anxiety that you feel, but ultimately it comes from a thought. So for most of my life, and you might be in the same situation now, or you may have experienced a bit of a transition in your life in terms of how you view anxiety, but I, for the most part, for many years, saw anxiety as a source of further ongoing anxiety. If I felt anxious, I'd get worried that I was anxious, and I'd feel the anxiety getting worse, and it became a kind of cycle of rumination and overthinking and worry that made the anxiety worse. Now this understanding is really important for you guys who want to experience reduced anxiety in your life. Because seeing anxiety and getting scared by the anxiety, which is what causes most of our ongoing anxiety, is a problem. But it's also a solution and wrapped up in a problem. It's an opportunity. Because what I've since learned is just by shifting my attention, and you guys sometimes make fun of me for always pretty much having the same solution to every one of life's problems, but it is true, by changing our perspective. And actually, rather than seeing anxiety as a source of fear and ongoing panic, which it is for many people, to see anxiety as a sign, an indicator, a source of new, renewed, refreshed awareness. And ultimately, what I've seen is that anxiety can be seen as an opportunity to change. It is an indication that you can change, and that there is something that needs to change in one of two ways. And now before I go there, a lot of people think I'm talking about needing to change yourself as a person. And there can be a lot of pressure and a lot of judgment around that. I need to change, I'm not good enough, I'm not the person I should be. And that can bring a lot of even additional pain. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about making practical and logistical changes in our lives, a sort of systematic change. It's nothing to do with inner worth, self-worth, that kind of thing, because we're all at the level of worth, at the level of soul, beneath thoughts, we're all perfect, we're all whole. And that's something that needs to be drilled in. And the opposite of drilling in, which is just to sort of relax in the idea that we are whole and we don't need to change. But what I'm saying is that when we feel anxiety, we can use it as an indicator to do something differently in our lives. That's the key thing. Something needs to be done differently. Because what we're doing right now that creates the anxiety and ongoing anxiety is that we're not doing something right. We're not doing something optimally. And things can change in one of two ways or both ways. It's an indication, first of all, that perhaps your thinking, your style, your method of thinking could use a refresh, could use a change. And if you feel anxious, one of the things you can do which helps me tremendously every time I feel anxiety coming along, is It's an indication in that moment that I need to let go of my anxious thinking, that actually I don't need to buy into the seriousness and the heaviness of the thoughts that are coming up. So I might have thoughts that say, you're not good enough at public speaking, you shouldn't have agreed to get onto this live podcast, and now you're going to make a fool of yourself and people are going to laugh at you and blah, blah, blah. Those are all thoughts. Those are all visions that show up in your mind. And if I feel anxious, it's just a little nudge, a little elbow nudge in my side that says, Alex, you're taking those thoughts too seriously again. You need to shift and let go and move your attention to more positive, more helpful thoughts. So that's one change that anxiety could be making you aware of in your life that you can improve. The other change that anxiety might be hinting at is a lifestyle change of some sort, a change of what you're taking into your body. It's an opportunity for an experimentation, a shift perhaps in what you're ingesting, how you're living, what kind of dopamine intake you're bringing in, what kind of artificial dopamine intakes you're bringing in, how much caffeine you're drinking. Anxiety becomes an opportunity for experimentation, to shift how you're living your life in small ways and seeing what happens when you push the box and what kind of feedback you get. So this is something that I've been playing with all my life, and was initially something that I was using. I was experimenting and trying different things because I was desperately trying to avoid anxiety and trying to get past what seemed like a sort of terrible problem in my life. But now I've seen anxiety as a useful and helpful opportunity. It has been diminishing over the years, and whenever it shows up, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I still have a bit of anxiety here. Perhaps my thinking isn't being helpful at the moment, but it also might be hinting at something that I did earlier in the day that is contributing to a kind of unhealthy physical state that I might want to avoid next time, whether it be watching porn or eating junk food, processed food, eating sugar, and of course coupling that unhealthy lifestyle with unhelpful thoughts. So at the core of this conversation, without making it go on too long, I want to emphasize the idea that when I was younger, for most of my life, the reason I had ongoing anxiety and I had panic and I had depression as a result of the anxiety was because I was taking anxiety too seriously, and I became more and more anxious because of the anxiety. So I was using anxiety in a very unhelpful way, and that has not served me. And I've since shifted my perspective over the years in such a way that my anxiety now is a kind of an ally in my life. It's a friend of mine that shows me the way. And I wanted to pass on that knowledge to you. If you suffer anxiety, you want to now see anxiety no longer as a source of more anxiety, but rather see it as an indication of what things you might need to do in your life, or see it as an indication that you do need to make some changes. And that's helpful. That's like having a coach who's able to kind of step in and give you a third person viewpoint of what you're doing, whether it be taking your thoughts too seriously, buying into your negative thinking too much and ruminating too much, which you can change, you have the power to change, or to make some lifestyle changes and to get practical and to get, dare I say it, serious about changing your habits for the better, so that you don't feel as much anxiety and you don't get these alarm bells that go off in the form of anxiety. I mean, you're a rational human being. You don't want so much anxiety in your life because it takes away from your performance. It takes away from your joy. Like I have felt so much through my life. The amount of joy that I've been sapped or denied because of my anxiety is tremendous. But now that I see it, and whenever it shows up, I'm like, okay, this is an opportunity. Remember, it's an opportunity to make a shift, make a small shift, and to experiment and to see it in a playful way, to see anxiety in a kind of positive light. That's all I got for you guys for today. I hope that was helpful. Remember, everything can be seen in a way that is helpful to us. All of the hardships in our lives, all the struggles and the sufferings can be always seized and turned into something that can help us move forward with momentum. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be sharing more videos. I'm going to increase my pace a little bit in terms of putting stuff out because it keeps me creative, keeps my own momentum going. I always love to hear ideas from you guys in terms of what you want me to talk about, and do like this video if you liked it, and tell your friends and tell your friends to subscribe to the newly named Untethered Man channel. And one last thing, if you're interested in joining a group of like-minded men who are keen on the benefits gained from community with other men, and talking about how to continually grow and improve and enjoy life more and enjoy more peace and consciousness in our lives, make sure you register for the Untethered Man newsletter. I'll be sharing regular newsletters, ideas such as these in written form. Go to untetheredman.com for your interest, and I will see you on the other side, guys. Take care.